May I have your attention for the 2016 winner of the International Children's Peace Prize, Kehkashan Basu. Thank you.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests. I am deeply honored and humbled to be chosen as the recipient of this year's International Children's Peace Prize. When I began my journey 8 years ago, I never imagined that I would be standing in the Hall of Knights in The Hague to receive the Children's Peace Prize. Thank you, Kids' Rights and the Expert Committee, for giving me this opportunity. It vindicates my belief that children have the power and ability to achieve whatever they set their sights on. All we need is a fair opportunity. I represent the future generations, and we have a right to a clean environment, the same as our forefathers. I do not want to grow up in a world where I have to wear a gas mask or drink polluted water, or in a world that is depleted of its glorious flora and fauna. Long ago, I came across a quote from Robert Swan, who said, "The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it." This general lack of concern for our environment is the root cause of the current state of degradation that our world faces. As a 16-year-old, I am dismayed at the short-sightedness that most adults demonstrate in relation to the environment, ignoring its paramount importance to our well-being. 30 years ago, when my dad was in school, his geography textbook proclaimed the Aral Sea as the 4th largest inland water body in the world. Today, this water body has almost ceased to exist. My geography book calls it a desert. This environmental catastrophe took place over 30 long years, right in front of our eyes, yet no one cared enough to stop it. This did not sit well with me. I decided to be the change, and my first small step was to plant a tree on my 8th birthday. There has been no looking back for me since then, and my work led me to the global stage when, at the age of 12, I found myself surrounded by adults at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, championing the cause of environmental conservation. On my return from Brazil, I founded Green Hope to provide young people a platform to learn about the environmental challenges and take actions to mitigate them. Green Hope is run by youth, for youth, because we feel the message is more powerful when peers work together. We organize environmental academies, which are tailor-made workshops varying from 2-hour sessions to full-day events that target the children and youth across the region. So participants learn to calculate their carbon footprint, ways of stopping land degradation, understand the concepts of sustainable consumption, climate change impacts, biodiversity conservation, and the need for future justice. Since our humble beginnings 4 years ago, Green Hope has now 1,000-member volunteers across the world in different parts of the globe working to make a difference. My battle is far from over, but I'm confident the world is now listening. The fact that I'm standing here in front of you all today is in itself an acknowledgement of this. That said, there needs to be a far greater level of engagement and empowerment for us children, since it is our future that is at stake. With the global population crossing 7 billion, The Earth's finite resources are under tremendous strain, and it is of immense concern to us, the future generations. Thousands of us die every day by drinking contaminated water and from pollution-related causes. This escalating environmental degradation has given rise to a new phenomenon, climate refugees. Millions of people are forced to migrate from their homes and countries which are devastated by floods, droughts, sea level rise as a consequence of climate change. And a large portion of these migrants are, unfortunately, children. These children are forced to migrate from their homes in villages and into the cities where they face a bleak future which they have no control upon. Every day, every minute, we are writing an obituary for a lake or a wetland or a forest. The impacts of environmental degradation are being felt worldwide because every region and every country is at threat. The Ganges River, which once flowed pristine and pure from the Himalayas to the Bay of Bengal, is now a cesspool of filth. The Yangtze River has forgotten its original trail thanks to the numerous dams and barrages it encounters. The Himalayas, shorn of their glacial cover, look like dull pieces of chalk. The historic dodo is now rejoicing at the thought that it may soon have lions, tigers, and pandas to keep it company. Thousands of children walk miles in the scorching heat to collect one bucket of brackish water because the world does not take note while our rivers dry up. We, children, are bearing the brunt of the unbridled so-called economic progress, which is happening at the cost of the environment. The Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, adopted by the United Nations last year, and the Paris Climate Accord have finally merged the two pathways, cementing the fact that climate change and development goals cannot be pursued separately. Additionally, a sustainable future cannot be realized only until we have equal rights for all children. The task we have at hand is monumental, but it is not daunting. We have an obligation to protect our natural resources and ensure that we leave the human and natural environment in at least the same good condition it was received in. Environmental apathy must be done away with. We, children, have a leadership role to play and mold the future the way we want it. For example, planting trees is the simplest yet most effective way of diminishing climate change. So plant your first tree today, talk about it to your peers, spread the message, and stop this ecocide. I would like to thank my parents for always being the source of my support and inspiration and strength, and for always being there by my side. And I feel blessed to always have them by my side. I would also like to thank the awesome Green Hope team for their unstinting passion in facing adversity and for standing shoulder to shoulder in our fight to save the planet. Finally, I would like to remind you that time is not on our side. We're standing at the edge of a cliff, and yet we continue to turn a blind eye to the looming catastrophe that is threatening the future of our planet. The time to act is now. I beg you to shake off this indifference towards our environment before it is too late. This is one battle we cannot afford to lose, and to win, we need to do it together, adults and children. So let us turn back the clock and create a future that is just, sustainable, and equitable. Thank you.